So I'm here today with Rob Jagers, the director of the very inspirational Wolverine Pathways program here at the University of Michigan. So for this last segment, Dr. Jagers, I'd like to focus for just a minute on the idea of narrative and what if a scientist or an engineer wanted to do to reach a youth audience, the types of things that might be compelling or interesting or valuable for youth in terms of narrative storytelling. Like, what are the types of things that you see in your program that capture people's attention, or conversely, as we talked about in the messaging section, that your youth use to tell their stories when they're doing their demonstrations?
Well, I think that as you mentioned in our last segment, we talked a little bit about making things personal and / relevant. So I think that those types of efforts to help young people see applications for the types of concepts, the types of data, the types of material that is being presented to them, I think is ultimately the thing that catches their attention and then allows them to see themselves through the types of concepts that we're trying to and practices that we're trying to introduce. So
Sure.
an example might be, I mentioned earlier that part of our work is around water as a resource. And so to begin to ask young people about water usage in their own homes, how long showers run, how do you turn the water off when you're brushing your teeth, or do you just let it run? Do you water your lawn? If so, how often? Do you use glasses, or do you use plastic bottles? All of these things, I think, help them to construct kind of a narrative about their own lives and water within their own lives
Yeah.
that then connects some of the larger questions that were taken up around water utilization through the Great Lakes, for example, and what that means when I turn the tap on in the morning, or when I flush the toilet, or when I call a plumber because we have a leak. Those day-to-day experiences can then be linked and understood as a running narrative about their own lives and the application, in this instance, of science knowledge to their own lives.
That's a fascinating insight. So in other words, what you're doing is you're helping people to connect these abstract concepts to their day-to-day lived experience. Am I
Yes.
getting that?
That is our intention.
That's such a great tip. So thank you so much for sharing that with our participants today.
Thank you very much for having me.